Have you ever thought that because you have no headaches, no dizziness, and still go for walks and enjoy daily activities happily every day, your blood pressure is completely stable? The truth is, high blood pressure never sends a warning letter before it attacks, especially at night, and especially when we have stepped past the age of 60. Hello, I'm Dr. Kevin Carter. Let's take care of your health so you can keep living life on your own terms. And before we go deeper, quick check. If you're watching this for your health, just drop a 1 in the comments. Try thinking about it. When you go to the clinic, the measurement process only lasts about 30 seconds. It is exactly like a quick 30-second snapshot that is bright and vivid, but is used to represent your entire body, which is a complex 86,400 second long film. That is simply the hidden nature of time. But what is really happening inside the body when the house turns off the lights and you sink deep into sleep? Eastern medicine from ancient times has thoroughly understood an unchanging law of balance. Day is movement. Night is stillness. When night falls, all things rest, and the qi and blood in the body also need the process of retraction, retreating into the deepest state of stillness to borrow the power of darkness to self-heal. What is interesting is that modern Western medical science completely agrees with this natural shift. When you sink into sleep, your blood pressure must automatically drop by 10% to 20%. We call this process dipping, a physiologically vital blood pressure lowering rhythm. During those quiet moments, your heart is unloaded, the kidneys begin the process of filtering out toxins, and the blood vessel system rests to repair damage. Imagine our blood vessel system in our 20s as extremely flexible, like young branches full of sap, easily bending and springing back before pressures. But when we step past the age of 60, according to the inevitable law, those once young branches gradually lose their flexibility, becoming rough and hardened like dry branches, or even metal pipes that have lost their ability to expand and contract. At the same time, the autonomic nervous system, the invisible conductor responsible for sending nighttime blood pressure lowering signals, also begins to weaken and miss its rhythm. The signals sent are no longer as sharp as before. Right now, I want you to listen carefully. That is completely the mechanical wear of the time machine, a process that every living being must go through. The body is not betraying you. It is simply trying to operate a machine that has worked tirelessly for 6 decades. But when that self-healing mechanism fails, a dangerous blind spot will appear. Statistics show that for millions of people over 65, that quiet dipping note simply disappears. Blood pressure does not drop at all, but continues to remain tense throughout the night. Medicine calls this condition non-dippers, people who do not lower their blood pressure. You obediently turn off the lights and go to sleep with the belief that the body is resting. But in reality, inside the blood vessels is a silent, suffocating struggle. And when the natural rhythm is broken, the most frightening underground waves truly rise, frighteningly. That chaos is sometimes aided by the very harmless habits on the kitchen table. Let's check the tea preparation drawer together, where thieves are hiding that are silently robbing your nighttime peace. First is licorice root. In Eastern medicine, herbal teas help calm the mind and bring the body into a relaxed state. You reach for a warm cup of tea before bedtime because of the desire for a peaceful dream. Western medicine has discovered that licorice root neutralizes an important enzyme. Imagine it like you secretly dropping a rock to block the flow of the biological dam. When the water flow is obstructed, the stress hormone cortisol surges powerfully, causing blood pressure to spike right when you are sound asleep. The second culprit is the evening glass of red wine. Alcohol initially brings a soothing feeling, but around 3 o'clock in the morning, it creates an extremely strong rebound reaction. Your sympathetic nervous system at this moment is like a wave that has been suppressed too much. When released, it surges into a violent tidal wave, pushing blood pressure to its highest peak in the entire 24 hours. Finally, a refreshing drink unintentionally disrupts medical efforts. Grapefruit juice. If you are taking calcium channel blocker blood pressure medication, grapefruit juice will inhibit the liver from breaking down the drug. The excess medication immediately creates a thick, muddy area inside the blood vessels, turning stability into an unpredictable danger. You see, the liver and digestive system at the age of 60 are extremely sensitive. Whether unintentionally or intentionally, your body is still silently bearing many invisible pressures. So how can we catch these deep injuries in the act? Eastern medicine always reminds us, to make a tree grow well, we must nurture it from the roots, not just busy trimming the withered leaves on top. To see through the roots that are silently changing inside the body, Western medicine has given us 3 golden keys, unfortunately often forgotten in routine checkups. The first key is ABPM, 24-hour ambulatory blood pressure monitoring. The normal blood pressure monitor only works for a few seconds, while this device is like a devoted night guard. It silently stays awake with you, automatically recording data every 30 minutes, helping the doctor clearly see the true picture of blood pressure surges when you are sound asleep. The second is the microalbuminuria test. The kidneys are the body's miraculous filter system. When nighttime blood pressure continuously plows through, protein leaks into the urine. This process is exactly like small cracks on the embankment body that appear many years before the real flood arrives. Detecting these cracks early is the moment we still have the full opportunity to reinforce and heal. The third is oxidized LDL. Unlike regular cholesterol, this oxidized form is many times more dangerous. Imagine them as sharp rust flakes that day and night rub and destroy your fragile blood vessel walls. Routine cholesterol tests will never see this rust. Please write down these 3 names on a piece of paper and clip it with your health insurance card. Do not worry that proactively requesting tests will bother the doctor. Not at all. The fact that you carefully ask questions shows you are a responsible patient, and proactive patients always receive the best protective care. Before we move on to the specific solution, please take a second to hit the like button. This action helps the video reach other elderly people who are worried about nighttime blood pressure that no one has mentioned yet. Once you hold the diagnostic keys, we will open the door to the healing method, starting with an extremely simple time shift. Eastern medicine has a very profound philosophy about heavenly timing. All things grow or heal must follow the most appropriate moment. Western medicine also has a similar concept called chronotherapy or time therapy. We usually have the fixed habit, taking blood pressure medication right after waking up. But let's look back together. Most blood pressure medications reach peak effect in the first few hours, then gradually weaken. If you take it at 7 o'clock in the morning, then by midnight, that invisible protective shield has become much thinner. It is exactly like you carrying a solid sun umbrella during the day, but stepping out into a nighttime snowstorm with bare hands. Right at the moment the body is most vulnerable and needs protection the most, the defense force withdraws. The historical Hygeia chronotherapy study on 20,000 patients proved a shocking truth. With just one single action, shifting the medication time from morning to before sleep, the risk of heart attack and nighttime stroke decreased by nearly 50%. Nearly half the risk wiped away. No expensive new drugs, no increased dosage, simply following the rhythm of time. For many decades, you have always taken medication in the morning because that was the familiar standard. Keeping that habit reflects your dedication to following medical orders. That is wonderful discipline to protect yourself. Science advances, and now is the time for us to update the strategy. But remember firmly, absolutely do not shift the medication time to tonight on your own. Some types of medication, especially diuretics, are not meant to be taken at night. This shift requires approval from your treating doctor. It only takes 30 seconds to ask, but it could save your life ahead. And once the Western protective layer is reestablished, there is a gentle, deep red stream from nature waiting to welcome you. And that deep red stream is not far away. It sits quietly right on the shelves of herbal stores. Hibiscus tea. But please do not skim past it. Eastern medicine has always believed that everything born in nature carries a complete healing mission, and Western medicine has used the strictest microscopic lenses to prove that belief is completely scientifically grounded. Clinical research shows that in the dried hibiscus petals is hidden a miraculous compound named anthocyanins. It is the living sap that creates the vibrant red color of natural berries. In your body, they act like an anti-static protective coating, seeping into every nook and cranny to protect and neutralize the free radicals that are threatening to erode the blood vessel walls. Even more impressive, hibiscus naturally has the ability to inhibit the ACE enzyme. Imagine the ACE enzyme like an accelerator pedal that continuously forces your blood vessels to constrict. This warm cup of tea will act like an invisible handbrake, gently releasing pressure little by little, allowing blood pressure to drop from 8 to 14 millimeters of mercury. However, to awaken this pharmacological mechanism, the art of brewing determines everything. Many middle-aged people have tried herbal tea but saw no effect and became skeptical. The reason you have not succeeded is simply because we have not known how to unlock nature's correct technique. Use exactly 10 grams of pure hibiscus flowers. Absolutely do not use blended tea bags. The water temperature must reach 90 degrees Celsius, and the steeping time must be from 10 to 15 minutes. The result you receive must be a deep purple-red liquid, like the color of aged wine. If the water is only pale pink, the medicinal properties have not yet been fully released. A warm cup of tea drunk about 1 to 2 hours before sleep will create the deepest impact on your nighttime blood pressure. However, even though nature is gentle, it has its own interaction rules. If you are taking blood pressure medication, this herb may synergize to increase the effect, so please talk to your doctor before adding it to your nightly habit. So, how do we string all these changes together into a smooth flow in your day? Let's start turning all the knowledge into 3 calm actions right tonight. Eastern medicine always teaches that before nourishing, we must clean away the interfering agents. The first step: open the kitchen cabinet and check the labels on the tea boxes. You need to find a name hiding there. Licorice root. If present, move it to the morning shelf or discard it. When the label says natural herb, trusting it is simply the reflex of the pure desire to protect health. We are only gently pulling out a weed branch growing in the wrong place in our garden. The second step, be honest a little about the familiar evening glass of red wine. We do not need harsh prohibition, but a wise shift. Instead of drinking close to bedtime, move it up to enjoy with dinner. Introducing alcohol into the body at night is like loading a heavy rock onto a small boat preparing to cross a waterfall. Moving that rock earlier will help the sympathetic nervous boat not capsize at 3 o'clock in the morning. This flexibility helps keep the body's yin-yang state from ever being thrown off balance. The third step, immediately take a small piece of paper and a pen. Write down exactly 3 phrases. ABPM, microalbumin, and oxidized LDL. Clip this paper with your health insurance card. Stepping into a large clinic can always make us feel lost, and this piece of paper is the compass that keeps you from getting lost among countless routine procedures. Do not feel guilty or afraid of bothering the doctor when firmly requesting these tests. When the bedroom light is off and the warm glass of water is placed peacefully on the bedside table, that is the moment we look back at this journey. You know, your cardiovascular system is exactly like a steadfast lighthouse keeper. It stands firm through every storm, without a second of sleep for more than 6 decades. Western medicine points out that after the age of 60, the endurance boundary of that temple keeper becomes much thinner. Sadly, the moment of breakage often occurs in the absolute silence of the night. I have stood silently beside the hospital beds of countless elderly patients after sudden, violent illnesses. The most heartbreaking thing is, every risk can be reversed if they are given the right key. Eastern medicine always follows the universe's circulation cycle, while Western medicine calls it the natural biological rhythm. To protect this enduring heartbeat, you do not need to seek miracles, but only to follow a healing roadmap from dawn to dusk. Start in the morning. Welcome the sun with a light breakfast. Firmly refuse grapefruit juice if you are taking medication. By noon, exercise the body gently. A few calm walking steps will help qi and blood circulate, dispelling accumulated heaviness. In the afternoon, if you like a bit of rich flavor, move the red wine glass up earlier. Enjoy it with dinner. And when evening comes, brew the calm cup of tea by hand, soothing all burdens. Please do not create pressure to be perfect tomorrow. The body always needs time to adapt. Every small effort to change is a priceless gift you kindly give back to yourself. Of course, all the knowledge we exchange today is educational and absolutely does not mean you should change medication timing or regimens on your own without your treating doctor's approval. You have spent your whole life worrying about others. Tonight, let the heart rest. I am Dr. Kevin Carter. Maybe keep this video to yourself, but if someone you care about is quietly struggling, this could really help them. Wishing you peaceful nights and a steady heartbeat. And make sure to watch this next episode. I've picked this one especially for you. Definitely watch. See you there.